Hi, I'm Mindy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my April book haul, and I have a lot of great books to show you. The first batch of books I have to show you are from David Wiley because I won a giveaway on his channel for The Cursed book. If you haven't heard of The Cursed book, it is Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke by Eric LaRocca. I have read two other of Eric LaRocca's works and love them very much, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to love this one too. I'm not 100% sure because I have heard, you either love it or you hate it. I think I'm going to love it, but we'll see. And if I love it, I am not going to want to give this book up because I love the cover, and this is out of print. Like, you can't get this anymore. I'm very lucky to have this, and I want to keep it. However, I would feel kind of crummy keeping this book because it has been to so many booktubers. So many booktubers have read this copy of the book. It started with Juan from Plagued by Visions, then Dave from Book Blather, Justin from This Just In, Michael K. Vaughan, Greg Montague from Another Bibliophile Reads, David Wiley, and then now me. I will be reading this soon to see what I think of it. I have high hopes. And I may be passing it on to another booktuber. Also from David Wiley, he gave me a copy of Crossroads by Laurel Hightower. This was one of my favorite reads from 2021, and I only had the ebook, so I am super excited to have a physical copy for my very own as one of my favorites. This is one that I will definitely be rereading at some point. So that's a great pick. And then he also sent me an arc of The Smashed Man of Dread End by J.W. Ocker. I've heard great things about this author, and this is a middle grade story, I believe. Middle grade horror. Says it's a chilling classic horror story perfect for fans of R.L. Stine and Holly Black. Then, my Barnes & Noble is closing soon and moving to a new location, so everything is on sale, which means I bought some books. I don't need books, but I bought some books. First, I've been in the mood for some fluffy romance, and I picked up one that had the best sounding synopsis. One I've kind of had my eyes on for a while, and that is Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. And this seems like a friends to lovers story about two friends that don't date, but only really want to be together and set each other on a bunch of terrible blind dates so that they won't be with anyone else and just hang out with them. Something like that, but anyways, sounds kind of cute. And then this is one I've heard some good things about. Finley Donovan is killing it. About a writer and mother? Yep. About a struggling writer and mother who somehow gets wrapped into taking on being a hired killer. She got mistaken as a hired killer because she was telling about her new book. Something like that. Anyway, sounds very silly, and I want to read it. I heard a few booktubers talking about this book recently because it was on the BookTube prize list. that is Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr. And I just could not resist the synopsis of this book. It's so very intriguing. It's one of those books with a lot of different storylines and timelines that all converge or have to do with each other. One is way back in the past in Constantinople. There's one or two modern day storylines, as well as one that's in the far future. I am too intrigued not to pick this one up. I really want to read this soon. And this is the winner of the Pulitzer Prize last year, so we'll see if that means it's good or not. I don't know, but it sure sounds very good. I also picked up Insomnia, which is the new novel by Sarah Pinborough. I wanted to check out Sarah Pinborough for quite some time. I have a few of her horror books and thrillers already on my shelves, and here's the new one. It's so pretty. I've heard some great things about it. Now I have a set of books from subscription boxes. I recently decided to check out my sci-fi club, and I got sci-fi box and a fantasy box, as well as my thrill club for the horror box. And this is my second month. I have to say that I have been super interested in the books. They all look really cool. I've only heard of a few of them that I've gotten. There don't seem to be ones that I would usually pick out for myself, but they are really cool looking books. The reason I wanted to check this subscription service out is because they're only $15 a piece, which means with all 3 subscriptions, it's 6 books for $45, which is a great deal. And they're all hardcovers. So the first ones I have here on the stack are the ones that came in the sci-fi box. Sometimes they're not clear in the genre. Some things that look like sci-fi come in other boxes, or thriller, they look more like a thriller, or they look more like whatever. But all interesting books, and it's a good thing. I am a very eclectic reader, so it doesn't bother me any. So from the sci-fi box, I got The Warehouse by Rob Hart. That takes place in a warehouse called Cloud, and it's a giant tech company that's eaten much of the American economy. And this is a near future thriller about what happens when Big Brother meets Big Business. This next one is a space opera, I believe, and that is Unconquerable Sun by Kate Elliott. Then in my fantasy box, I got Trinity Site by Jennifer Givon. Love that cover. And this seems to be an apocalyptic story, or a dystopian type thing, about a woman who wakes up and the world is completely changed and on its last legs, and she's wandering this wasteland trying to collect clues on what is happening. Something like that. Not exactly fantasy sounding, but it sounds super good and like one I definitely want to read. And then this one I've actually heard of and thought about buying a couple of times. So I was excited to see this one come up, and that's Mage Against the Machine. By Sean Barger. Super cool. This is like, seems like a mix of sci-fi and fantasy. The year is 2120. The humans are dead. The mages have retreated from the world after a madman blew up civilization with weaponized magical technology. And there's a war going on between the last free humans and machine intelligences. Sounds like an exciting one. And then in the horror box, the first one definitely doesn't sound like horror. It's sci-fi, I think. This is Thin Air by Richard K. Morgan, the author of Altered Carbon, which is a television show and a book that I want to read soon. My husband has read it and he liked it. Definitely sci-fi book, so this one might be similar. I also kind of sounds like a thriller, but it takes place on Mars, where ruthless corporate interests collide violently with a homegrown independence movement as Earth-based overlords battle for profits and power. So like a sci-fi thriller, Thin Air. I want to read Altered Carbon, and this one sounds pretty good too. Not gonna lie. Then this one is a horror book. It's one I've heard of, and I look forward to reading it. And that is Dracul by Dacker Stoker and J.D. Barker. Okay, this is like the origin story for Dracula and Bram Stoker. That's cool, actually. That's cool. Wow, I was not expecting that synopsis that I just read. This is very intriguing. I'm gonna have to read this soon. And then my new prized possession. I definitely splurged and I got myself a fancy pants book. I ordered my very first book from Suntup and it came this month. It's of The Collector. It comes in this beautiful slipcover. The Collector by John Fowles, one of my favorite horror novels. This is the artist edition, but it's about this obsessive guy who collects butterflies and then ends up collecting this woman as well, kind of stalking and then kidnapping this woman. And it's from the perspective of the kidnapper, so very creepy. I love it. And there's little pictures throughout. They're so pretty. It has really nice feeling thick paper. Yeah, it's definitely a quality book. Some butterflies. Signed by the artist. Let me see if there's anything on the hardcover. Okay. There is. Definitely a high quality, very well made book. And I'm glad I have a super nice copy of one of my favorites. I have another one, another surprise from Suntup coming sometime soon that I can't wait to show you as well. That's all the books that I picked up in April. Let me know what you think of any of these books, and I'll be back very soon with another book-related video. Thanks.